advocacy on ongoing basis, and also contribute to OpenSIPS and bunch of other stuff on all sides of spectrum. Yeah. And yeah,
Okay.
looking forward for OpenSIPS Summit. I think
And
we'll
then,
bring at least some guys with us too.
good.
Oh,
We need
we
we
got
need somebody to
some.
consume alcohol
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the boat.
yeah. We got some bugs to debug live, so hopefully we can do it today. We have that HEP module crashing, so we
Yes,
actually
I'm here
have.
for that.
Yay!
We got Rita.
Yes,
We
I
got
was about to
Pavel.
say, guys and girls, please. I'm going to
Yes,
open
yes,
tips,
yes,
guys and
yes,
girls.
yes, yes.
Well, again, there's plenty of females that are watching this. I know. There's a massive like overgrowth of the female population in the OpenSIPS community.
Not
We've been
anymore
actually
because
talking
it
about like
starts with finance, so all the
well,
females went away.
we're taking some notes from China. That whole one baby policy, like we're thinking about that because the men don't want to be outnumbered.
Mm,
So with that, I'm Alex Goulis. I've been in the OpenSIPS community pretty much since OpenSIPS became OpenSIPS. I'm the first certified OpenSIPS professional, mostly because I was fast and I finished my tests first. But I still am the first, and I will hold on to that title. And you'll find me at the OpenSIPS Summit as well. I'm pretty much the de facto MC. And we have a lot of fun there, like we're going to have today. So let's get to it, boys.
So you admit you are the oldest.
There is
Okay.
no doubt about that. There is no
Okay.
doubt about that. I will not hide it.
Stop doing age shaming, you know? Like
Well, listen,
everyone will get old in the end, you know?
in this
So-
community, without Giovanni here, like I have to stand up for those of us that are old.
Nice.
Right.
Nice. So talking about old, let's talk about new, young stuff, web stuff, OpenJS stuff, OpenShift.js stuff.
Take it from here.
All right, all right. So generally, again, I just remind you all about the general project of OpenShift.js. It's like a community effort being pushed by Voice Center, but also being helped by other part of the community. If it's the Janus guys and of course the OpenShift core team by themselves. Generally, the idea is really to give a full framework of building front-end phone applications, all kind of them. Like we are seeing more and more, especially on the era of the voice bot and everything like that, that we are having like real-time AI agent and not just phone operation based on it. And we are seeing more and more of web involvement of the through the WebRTC and the real-time communication with a lot of AI solutions. So the idea is really to get the OpenShips the right infrastructure and the right web framework from the client side. The idea was to build a very generic library that extend the SIP.js one. So again, there is the basic implementation of the web socket SIP.js, which the guys did great, but we are trying to add on top of it more and more applications. So as SIP.js is only like a signaling layer, we are trying to get the full media management and the full browser abilities from anything from managing the integration for the browser and the audio elements and everything like that, and managing all of the managing of the devices and all of those stuff that all of us doing the same, and it should be like a community effort, and we are trying to establish the solution that will be good for everyone. Beside that, we are putting more and more like applicational stuff, VAD detection, all of those kinds of extra features that we can put on top of it. Beside that, we then have the different libraries for the different applications. So if we are talking about basic web application, or we have like a React native wrapper, and more wrappers and libraries that some of them are still in the ideas, and it's really up to us as a community to develop by the different branches of the web development that there is today. But the idea is to give a good infrastructure for all of the web developers and to bring the OpenSIPS technologies and the real RTC into people that usually doesn't work so much with SIP and everything, and we are trying to eliminate the needs of them to understand it, but in the end, it's a great framework to build in any application you want to build from website in front of OpenSIPS. And when we are saying web, we are saying anything from the native mobile application that is being based on React Native, or Electron application for desktop, or Chrome extension, and etc. Call widgets. One of the things that we did a lot in the last year was really did a lot of efforts to build like a widget out of it, more of like getting, instead of giving it just as a framework that doing all of the background for you, also to giving you the full implementation part of it, that giving you a full ability to customize your own widget. Nitzan already sent in the group the example for it. We will later show a little bit more of live demos of it. But generally, the idea is really to give as much of the generic work that can be done for it as a part of the ready-made phone widget and libraries that we are already given as part of the OpenSIPS JS project.
You want to take it to the live demo?
Let's talk a little bit really about the interesting part. So for us, one of the first questions that Bogdan was asking us when we start doing the OpenSIPS JS is, like, why the fuck it's OpenSIPS JS? Why it's not like Font JS? Or why it's specifically to OpenSIPS? And the idea is really to give an extra layer of applications which giving us the ability to communicate, to leverage the signaling layer that we have between OpenSIPS and the client to give much more applications besides just the basic phone one. And of course, the next real-time application beside the basic voice, it's the video conferencing. And of course, from after exploring all of the options from community perspective, it's felt very natural for OpenSIPS to adapt Janus as the video media engine, as being like, and we are looking on it pretty much like Janus being equivalent to RTP engine. But instead of just doing one-to-one streaming, it's really doing the multiple MFU and like really giving us all of the control over the streaming of SFU application. For those of you who doesn't know, familiar what is SFU, the idea is that each one send his own stream and subscribe to which stream that he demand. So the idea is we have like a few abilities. First of all, the ability is really to choose which stream. Let's say there is 100 people on the conference. You want to choose which one of them you are subscribing, And also you want to choose for which kind of layer, and this is where the multicasting is coming in, which we can have like a few layer of resolution, frame rate, and stuff like that. And then each one of the peers can subscribe to his specific stuff. So the idea is really to give the client side the ability to get the all available stream state out of the signaling layer, and then based on the signaling layer of OpenSIPS, manage which streams is subscribing to. Am I speaking too fast or too boring? Anyone have any questions? Like, I'm feeling like I'm preaching too much.
Yeah, a little bit. But you could have cut to the
Yeah.
chase, I guess.
What?
You got it,
What
guys.
happened?
Guys said it like make it less
Yeah.
marketing. Yes.
Yeah, so let's go. Let's a little bit show behind the scene. How does it work? If we will look like into, we'll go inside of the OpenSIPS and do an nesting grep in front of the Janus IP, so we can see generally the communication between the Janus and the OpenSIPS. If in the left screen, it's I will like join the room now. Oops.
Yeah, we'll relog in.
So we would put the basic some demo credentials for doing the login. And the idea that what we will see in the WebSocket layer. Oh.
Yeah.
I think you're using the
Because
camera. Yeah. But if you go into WebSocket, 1 second, just to. You see it here?
Yeah.
I think it's not this window.
Yeah, it's this shit.
Hmm?
Yeah. This one, and yeah.
So if we are looking a little bit on the WebSocket side, we can see like really the way that like we implemented the conference dialogue. So each conference dialogue starting with invite. The invite target is the room ID, which you are going inside of it. The idea was to encapsulate the WebSocket protocol of the video room of Janus and implement it inside of the SIP body. As you can see, the body type, the payload type is JSONs. So-
Okay, interesting.
So generally, the idea was really to be pretty much transparency. So each feature, each new features that there is inside of Janus automatically will be implemented inside of OpenSIPS.js, because we just implement the same message exactly. We didn't change a bit. We just wrap it up based on the RFC. There is like the RFC, I forgot his number, 47969, no, remember, like a RFC that been describing the way for doing conferencing. No, not this, no, this is the,
We have it here.
yeah, so we have the RFC 4579, which is like trying to declare the way that we should manage
Conferencing using SIP.
Of course, in the end, it's not exactly the same, because we are not managing just SDP, we are managing the full Janus payload. But we did took the idea of sending invite as getting into the room, and then using a subscribe to control if you want to subscribe to a stream, or also if you want to publish a stream, then you are doing a subscribe with p-type of publisher. And beside doing the invite and subscribe, we have notify coming from the server on each events that are coming to Janus to the endpoint, and we have info for each invite that coming from the client into the server. So let's say I want to update my audio state to stop send the audio. I will send the info that describing it inside of the JSON, and and so on and on. And behind the scene, there is the Janus module, which Vlad was developed. Vlad, you here? You maybe want to say a few words about the module?
Yeah, Vlad.
Hello, hello. Yeah, it's hello, hello. I don't know.
Hello, hello.
Here, can you see me?
Hi, we hear you.
Oh, hey.
Unnecessary.
Take it away.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, the module is basically just a transparent wrapper from the OpenSIPS.js to Janus. It just maintains the Janus specific connection layer, but then the client is in full control about what it wants to do with the SFU and all of that. And it's already merged. It's in dev branch of OpenSIP, so people can play with it.
By the way, who are you?
Vlad?
Yeah, that's
Are
not
you?
going to cut it. Why don't you just tell them I'm Vlad from Romania? Like, how many
And
Vlads are there?
no widget jokes, you know?
No widget jokes.
No
Yeah,
widget
one of the Vlads from Romania.
jokes.
Well, if you don't want to introduce yourself,
You should,
Any-
Alex, you should.
I don't know what's better, being Shlomi's brother in the community or being the other Vlad in Romania. You know,
yeah, but you know
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
He's the old Vlad. He's the old Vlad.
the old one.
Nobody's
the old
older
one.
than Alex. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Alex. Being old is not a good thing. Stop promoting it.
We should talk with Bogdan to hire an Alex, just so we have a
Listen,
young
man,
Alex.
some of these new applications are going to be for like the seniors. Aren't you guys already doing something where like you're calling like old people and making sure they're alive?
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. That's one
Yeah.
of the saddest. It's one of the saddest stories I have to say about the implementation of voice bots. That we're actually calling tens of thousands of elderlies in Israel just to check out how they.
It's a keep alive. It's a
Yeah,
human keep alive.
That's the name of the bot I gave. Human keep alive. You just ping him, say hi, how are you? Are you still alive? Feeling well? Oh, good, good, goodbye. And if he says he doesn't feel well, good, an ambulance, operator is online to confirm if it's an ambulance case or something else immediately.
So we will start using this bot in front of you, Alex. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Very
Alright.
useful. Very useful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No. So
So-
generally, from the Janus perspective, we have like the Janus table, right, Vlad, that we can load balance. How do we control for which Janus server each meeting is going through? Is it like load balancing? How does it work?
Right now, you can pass it from the OpenSIP script as a parameter. So it's up to the script logic basically to balance and keep the mapping about which session is on which Janus.
And from session perspective, the OpenSIPs, when it's going up, is already connected to all of the Janus and maintaining the WebSocket alive, right? And then
Yeah.
it just adding. So like the idea is that when OpenSIP's going up, it's opening the WebSocket in front of Janus, and then is creating more and more sessions based on this connection, which control the calls, control the different sessions. So from like this is like really the big difference between the default implementation of WebSocket in Janus, where each client have his own, usually its own WebSocket, and then is implementing one or two session based on it. We did it in a way that actually working. Surprisingly, it was working. And like Lorenzo was actually surprised as well for with us, and was very happy to know that it's actually you can use it in this way, but it's actually a very cost effective from the signaling and maintaining of the resources in front of those two. Uh, any more questions? Anyone?
No, pretty cool stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Bogdan, Sergey, as the authors of those stuff, you have anything to say that I missed?
I think it's pretty much says for itself. I don't
So
know.
what about why did it take so long to get into OpenSIPs? What's the what's the story?
Wow. These are guilt-based questions.
Yeah,
I mean, how long did it take, Max? If
I don't know. I heard Vlad was not happy with that.
Really? Publicly shaming?
I don't know. From my
Max heard it from me,
We're all
and
friends.
I
We're
heard it
friends.
from Shlomi. So.
no, from my perspective, but time is relative when you
That is relative.
when you miss out on a PR. So from my perspective, it was a couple months or
Oh, no,
like a
yeah,
bunch
yeah,
of months.
yeah.
But I hope it wasn't
Is-
like a year or something.
Wait,
How long
Was
was
it
it?
those?
Vlad?
Was it those months that you were trading in the market?
I wasn't on that PR.
He's
We
just
can talk about
developing.
the
He's
one
just
I'm on.
developing from conference to conference, and there wasn't a conference to develop for, so he's waiting for it.
Exactly. This is one of the reasons we will do this OpenSIPS meeting more that we all need to have a better deadline as community, and there is nothing as community as gathering together to get fake deadlines for all of us. So hopefully
Because
this
believe me, you
initiative-
don't want the alternative. Put me in charge of the timelines. Everyone will hate me.
No,
It's not.
it will not. It will not change the way we look at you, Alex.
Yeah, but just curious, why do you guys do it through like OpenSIP? So you can probably just connect to Janus directly, right? Through the WebSockets and stuff.
Good question.
So good question. First of all, from the perspective of resources, just not managing this multiple connection, multiple web socket in the browser. This is one thing, but I think there is also a lot of advantage of having this single state of connection in front of the end user. So, you don't need to now start in managing the state of someone in the meeting and then inside of in the phone and other. Like for us as a call center platform, it's very important to have like this single state of communication. And I think also again it's very important to say that the next step in there will be probably to manage for sure will be to manage the chat layer. We already have like the first POC for it based on MSRP. But honestly saying, look like MSRP is getting a little bit less and less attractive from the web perspective. It is and the whole revolution of the new SMS over the carriers will take time because we are seeing most of the carriers still doing SMS based on SMSC and old 3G. We don't even see most of the carriers moving into SMS based on Volte. And so we do thinking later on, and it's still like an open discussion, but we are really open-minded maybe to put open the same way that we are building OpenSIPS JS wrapper in front of Janus to do something pretty much the same in front of one of the chat server of the Matrix community. So when we are looking on the Matrix community and we are looking the way that
Matrix, for all of those that don't understand.
Again, what is Matrix first? Oh,
When
where
you're
to
saying,
start?
it sounds like you're saying metrics.
Yes.
Yeah, so there is I don't know if like you guys familiar with the metrics org, which is let's say the best implementation for me as a protocol for the world of instant messaging. The idea was really to build like a decentralized protocol to be able to manage chat systems. It's been the very big push based on a few country in Europe, which made as a standard for all of the government of, agencies to be able to communicate just based on Janus metrics as a protocol. And then there is a few there. We can see a very big ecosystem. And if you can go into the ecosystem, we can see servers. So there is a big ecosystem of servers that manage it. And so we are still thinking how maybe how OpenSIPS should be part of this ecosystem, and probably as again as a transport layer, and get and not trying to reinvent the wheel and having our own chat servers with all of the thousands of features that the community already, the other communities already done, but really looking the way of how we as the OpenSIPS community should join venture and work with the other communities to get the best product out there. So that's generally an idea that we are having, moving from having a basic MSRP chat server as embedded as part of the OpenSIPS server and OpenSIPS.js, which what we are standing now, and we are still, but we are thinking on the long term to change it to something that will be much more richful from the perspective of feature, which is the demand of it. Like as we are seeing today, nobody will use any chat system that are coming with some basic level of feature like Slack 3 years ago will be the minimum requirements. You will not use if you will not have rooms, you will not have proof of reading, all of those extra stuff that some of them doesn't even have implementation as part of the MSRP, and then building all of those logic as part of OpenSIPS might be a little bit overdoing when there is other solutions out there. So this is just open discussion, and I will be happy to hear any ideas and new approach about it, as it's been one of our goal for the next year. After we are finishing the voice and the video platform, is to finalize the chat platform for the OpenSIPS.js.
Yeah, cool stuff. So yeah, we're
Yeah,
little
I
bit
would
far
wrap it
from
up.
this, but yeah.
I will wrap it up and say that, when you try to design an omni-channel solution, that try to combine all the different channels and interaction types that you have, the OpenSIPS is the best to manage it. And we're using the OpenSIPS.js, we can just add more media, more types of channels, like the video over Janus, the chat over metrics, and anything else you want to add as an interaction into the call queuing, into the calling.
And it's really like, for us, it's more a call for the community, like, please give us the extra
needs,
the extra wrapper that we need to put inside, so we can really get it as a full solution for any RTC front-end requirement. All right, guys. Livio,
we took all the glory. Come on, Livio.
Give us some spoiler for Bogdan keynote. You made him pay for not being here.
So what are you guys doing for CI integration? And is there anything with the ticket? Have you provided some pipeline or some sorts?
Uh,
Specifically for
Who
For
you're asking?
your we don't hear you, Livio. I think you're saying some
you're not
stuff.
muted, but we don't
Yeah, I
hear
was
you.
hardware
Yeah.
mute. Okay.
Hardware
So
mute.
yeah, my bad. So CI integration with regards to what? Sorry.
The Janus module, no, nothing really.
Janus. I don't think it has any at the
Janus,
moment, right? Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah,
So
actually, this was a question. Now I understand. For us, we are now building like the idea. We are trying to build like one big Docker compose that will run the Janus, the OpenSIPS JS. Also, will give some kind of a basic authentication mechanism. One of the things that we did, we really as you all know, we did like in the last few years working on the JWT implementation. So the idea is to be able to do all of the login and everything and all of the control over the conferences and stuff based on the JWT. So we are trying to wrap up some kind of a low word Docker compose that giving you the basic room management and participant. And also now we are actually also trying to do it with some kind of auto deploying of SSL with Let's In script. So everyone can get a very quick running demo for it. As you all know, one of the hardest stuff to do with deploying WebRTC is always the SSL stuff. So we are trying also to get this barrier a little bit easier. By the way, we didn't talk about it enough. Nitzan is showing here the OpenSIPS. You show? No.
I was opening it.
We totally forgot to talk about it. If anyone have mobile development requirements, there is a React native wrapper for the OpenSIPS that also sit in the GitHub. All welcome to use it and contribute it to it.
It's in the chat scope.
But again, by the OpenSIPS summit, we will all have the OpenSIPS JS community edition Docker, and we promise all of you to be a teach and show how to deploy it during the conference.
Yeah, cool. But overall, I think would be nice if at some point OpenSIPS kind of puts a little bit of pressure on module authors to provide some form of the CI, at least basic CI. There are a lot of modules. Yeah.
I think like again, maybe Liv should can tell a little bit more about it. But the idea of the giving the push for the community edition stuff, I guess that was the goal of giving like more wrapped solution with the relevant demos, with the already ready made build Docker for them. For now, we have like the generic one. There is the one for the IMS that already up there. There is the one for the OpenSIPS JS that's going to be there. Right, Livio, did I miss any other community edition OpenSIPs that are up there?
No, pretty much those are it. The idea is to give like a ready-made scenario. We already talked about it, about this topic, to make it easier for everybody to connect the dots, right? We often have this problem of giving good documentation, and we've received good praise for it. But at the end of the day, you want to build the full service, right? And you don't need just an OpenSIPS with good documentation. You also need an RTP proxy. You need maybe a free switch or tie the dots, and that is where control panel and all of that, and that's where kind of things were missing. So that's what the community editions aim to solve. a scenario in a box. You just Docker compose
Mhm.
up, and that's it. You can reverse engineer it on your own. That's pretty much
Exactly.
the
I
idea.
think
Yeah.
many of the participants in this conversation would agree that the best documentation is a live example working for you to break, even more than just another document. You know.
Yeah. It's once you have something working, it's a lot different to ask yourself how is it working or why is it working, rather than okay, I don't have media and why am I getting no audio, right? Or and solve the NOT problem by yourself, or even begin
Just
to understand it.
excusing ourselves all to not write in the commentation, you know. This is not the right excuse.
But
Just,
we do put up blog posts, and we try to kind of have like a bi-weekly schedule with a new blog post constantly, and they should cover up some of these problems, Shlomi. But you can't solve. You cannot describe a platform in a blog post, you know,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
like a soft switch or like a AI
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
integration, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we also like again we actually promised to do it and we will do it already before the conference. So we will that, but we will try to give like 2-3 articles about the different implementation of OpenSIPJS and giving better examples and stuff. I know that there is few guys already in the community that approached me for that. We did launch the OpenSIPS.js website. Nitzan showed it earlier that there is the documentation. So anyone that want to take a look at, then, and again, if there is anything missing, please let us know. But yeah, we will try also from our side to do a better work on the blogs and giving a real use case and those kind of stuff. And yeah, you absolutely rightly, it's important for the community to have it.
Yeah, well, I can show a little bit what I did for our new PR, which is still in review.
Oh, great! Keep shaming the guys.
We are on the embedded RTP proxy, Max, right? Or
yeah. So
yeah, like I said here, there's only one nitpick pending before we can merge it.
yeah, but this is
Yeah,
pretty big
it's
because
big.
I will need
Mhm.
I will need to push that socket initialization because you need to get like socket number, right? So if you're not forking from that process, so we need to run in some process. Maybe you will help me. But anyway, let me just for the sake of everyone here on YouTube just explain what we are doing, right? So if we look at the evolution of RTP proxy over the years, so we basically started with like this like one number one here. So we basically have like OpenSIPs here or some control component, and then we have RTP proxy attached over the socket. And then it kind of slowly evolved into more like being able to do like distributed, so we can put a bunch of those in different boxes and scatter over the network, and then connect to the control component and manage bigger volumes of traffic, or just use it to kind of route traffic based on the needs. But now we kind of also want see there is in some cases we also want to have more compact configurations. So we basically have the functionality inside of control component. So just to give example, like practical example, just a few months ago we've been approached by some guys in Europe. They want to they basically operate like local ISP in somewhere in Netherlands or somewhere. and they deploy MikroTik boxes to customer premises. Yeah, and they basically have customers in local networks with bunch of SIP phones, and sometimes they have like media issues or have some NAT oddities. So they look at building like a small Docker container with OpenSIPs or CPB2BA or both, and then RTP proxy to handle the media, so they can basically point those phones to that container, and it will basically do extra debugging. It could also do like some stuff to put it over VPN of some sorts. So basically, more control for them to handle media streams. Maybe again collect some HEP stuff and send it to central server so they can debug issues. So and basically they look at some very compact solution that would not require a lot of resources. And they probably would only have like, like 3 calls running at the same time. So they're not looking at like huge capacity.
Yeah.
And so in that case, like, yeah.
Can I interrupt you for a bit here?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's a fully fledged RTP proxy that's embedded there, right? It's just compiled as a library, and so where I'm going with this,
Exactly.
it's that it has the same performance, right? So as more or less as a real RTP proxy. So as,
Yeah.
as, yeah. So even though you have this niche use case where maybe you're not putting that much traffic onto it, that doesn't mean that once we put it out there as an OpenSIPS module, people won't be using it that way, right? So our concern was that if we start making this exception with forking threads from the main worker, yeah, we don't want, yeah, people will start importing the module, maybe even as a copy paste, configuration
Oh
files will start
yeah.
spreading. And of course, let's load everything. Let's load RTP IO as well. Why not, right? But now you have this
Okay,
side
I see.
effect. Yeah, side effect, and you never
Mhm.
know. So
Okay,
yeah, there are like
yeah, that's maybe
190 modules at the moment, right? And none of them is forking threads in the attendance. So let's. It's not a written rule. I think you mentioned it at some point. Is there a guideline on writing modules? There really isn't. So that is true.
yeah.
Maybe we could work on that, or we should.
Yeah,
Uh,
okay.
yeah.
Well, let's continue on this. Let
Yep.
me finish with where I'm going with
Perfect.
all this. But yeah, if that's pretty much set the stage. But then on implementation side, we did quite I think unique job because no other module does it right now. So what I did, I created not only we built for like a bunch of architectures. I believe there's like 9 or 8 or 9, including some obscure ones. Well, not 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8. But those like very weird one, like this IBM S390. But anyway, it was just as part of that. So we build it because it depends on the library, which is not yet included in any packaging. So we need to build it optionally. We could not build it as part of the of the build process. But then also what it does, it tests actual calls. So we have our other project on GitHub, which we call VoIP tests. And basically, we just leverage that, and it provides basically just a set of like I think 20 different scenarios like UAC and UAC written in the Python using our CP language. But at any rate, it basically tests the actual module using those scenarios which have run for multiple years now. So it basically initiates calls, checks that they've been properly media pinned, and basically it takes quite pretty quick, like 1 minute or something. But also interestingly, well, so this is actually testing ARM44 version of everything. So both OpenSIPs and yeah, pretty much like Python. So everything runs ARM34 64 version, and well, so yeah, basically it uses QEMU. But since we're not using like all high volume of calls, it's working pretty fine. Yeah, and we're testing MD64, just normal stuff. And it repeats everything for both Ubuntu and Debian. So basically, and also on Ubuntu we test RISC-64 version too, actually, with the calls and everything else. I think there are some problems with the other ports. Stuff is not exactly working, so I only picked those. But anyway, this is yeah, still I guess we will. So now back to that discussion with architecture, Livio. So maybe you suggest something how we set up it then, because we want I believe maybe you suggest some module which does something similar. I guess some TCP, proto TCP probably, right, because it passes some file descriptors around as well.
That's a good question. There are a few ones which
Yeah,
I'll have to think
well,
about it. Yeah.
so the way we did it right now is that we, for example, this is how you call it, attended process, right, or whatever.
Yep. Sure. The attendant, the first process in
Attended,
OpenSIPS.
yeah.
I mean, it's actually the third
Attended
technically, but yeah.
Yeah, whatever we call it, attendant.
Yeah.
And so what we do here, we basically start, as Livio said, we start those threads in attendant process. There are a bunch of them different, doing different things. But anyway, it does not matter. And that what it allows us to do, we initiate those like sockets, right, to connect to the proxy, and then we basically just as we fork processes, we just inherit those sockets, so we don't need to pass everything. And so if we move it to separate process, we would need to kind of use RPC, because then they would not be. I guess this guy forks, right? Everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
So if this is RTP, and now we have all those threads here, so we would need. Well, I guess we can do some trick to create those pipes in attendant, right? During initialization. So we don't start anything. We could maybe create just create the sockets, right?
Hmm.
And then as we fork everything, they will be inherited.
All right, cool stuff.
Boring.
No.
No, no. So, Olivia, what do you think? This is going to work, or kind of?
Actually, need to make sure I understood the core problem.
Well,
So
the core
if
problem is that
ah,
we need sockets, right? So those processes can send and receive commands and all this stuff between this also RTP proxies, also just normal normal processes that run traffic, SIP traffic.
And it's scalable. You can add more and more.
yeah, that is a problem as well, which needs to be considered, right? The
Oh,
dynamic
no,
OpenSIPs worker, but we can
no,
get
it's
there.
okay.
Yeah,
We're not talking about dynamic.
yeah.
Mhm.
So
Okay,
yeah, I think it would help if we review. Oh, I see. So if we start the RTP proxy library from the extra process, doesn't that process have all the sockets that the attendant has, right? Because the attendant
but it's
forks
other
it.
way around. It
Yeah.
basically wants child of the attendant
Yeah, it will inherit.
have the sockets that shared with well connected to the RTP proxies wherever RTP proxy is running, threads are running. So well, anyway, yeah, I think we can maybe work this way. I guess we'll review the code and maybe ask you questions if I have anything.
Livia, if we are talking already on processing performance nightmare by doing that, where are we standing from the perspective of the observability of tracing? I know that it was part of the planning, right? Is it something that you guys started working on? There is any planning for that from the perspective of tracing? Of it was like, I understand it was profiling the modules and
Yep.
profiling the scripts, right?
Yep. The profiling, it's up there. It got a pretty good amount of votes, and we're doing our best to make it happen as well. There were some
Well,
features which we are working on, right, with SDP money. Basically, I can maybe why not screen share a bit, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
You have the
we are,
keynotes already?
I will speak on the name of the QXIP guys and Rita, that we are all looking forward, you know, and to give like the GigaPipe open source solution for the tracing of it that we are building.
Mm-hmm.
So really from the perspective of getting it together as a full ready-made solution that doesn't require you any other product like Pyroscope and other 10 different type of services. So our goal is really to give it as to give the backend for it as part of the deployment in the community editions. So we are
Yeah.
looking for it, right, Rita?
Absolutely, yes.
Yep. So Shlomi is talking about the integration with the Pyroscope service, which is
So generally, like we will give a GigaPipe implementation, which is given like a Go service, which implement the exact interfaces in front of a ClickHouse. So we will give a very robust open
So
source solution.
for us peasants here, can you give us a little bit of explanation what the periscope is and
so
Yeah,
Shlomi, you want to do it? Or?
like
Why is Rita here? Wait, why is Rita
well,
here?
What do you
exactly,
mean? Ah,
Rita.
you finish it. Come on.
So I will start a little even back, like again, from generally observability and the Grafana stack, which is being the observability stack of the modern ages, which have like the Loki, which doing the logs, Prometheus doing the metrics and Pyroscope doing the traces. So generally, by default, when you will need to set up a full observability system, it will be dozens of microservices, and each one of them have its own databases and etc. etc. The idea, the great work that the guys did in QXIP and Gigapipe, they built like a full solution. Think about it as like a USB adapter that giving you from the other side any kind of connection that you need, like a multi-pile connection. So you have like dozens of interface from Prometheus, Loki, even Elasticsearch, all of those kinds of stuff. It's used to called Quarin, and we are now working on building it as part of our commercial offer of Gigapipe and giving it as an open source project also for the ones that know how to use them by themselves. And as always, we are trying to do open source first and then leverage on the commercial side of it. So generally, the idea is to give the full solution for having the tracing, the logging, and the metrics. Specific about Pyroscope. So Pyroscope is like the ability of tracing. The idea is really to see which process taking which resources and then being able to show what's slowing down our system. So let's say when the guys will finish this amazing job of them, we will be able to see exactly which route taking us all of the CPU and all of the load time of a specific children, which is always for, I guess, all of us really understanding how useful it is. All of us are dealing with load on children, on processes, and trying to figure out what creating this load, which can be really nightmare if you need to start doing dump files and stuff like that. And really think about that as like what Omer and Epic and what those guys did for the SIP capturing. So now the Pyroscope will give us that from the core dump perspective. So I think this is really going to be one of the greatest improvements that we are all waiting for in OpenSIPS, the new version. No pressure, guys.
To be, yeah, I was thinking that there are already some mechanisms to achieve this, right? So there are the SIP message execution threshold. Maybe Vlad can double down if I'm right on this one. And you could add, speaking of an automated solution, right? If your logs are being ingested as of now, you could put in some matching. So asynchronous, it doesn't have to hog down your processing at all or your PDD. And you could analyze these logs, see if anything is taking up some time. For example, maybe you have some CNAME deep to Alex's API that's taking a lot of time, right? You could then get some alert
happens.
on that. Yes.
I love how
So,
That
we
was
yeah,
are
a low
blaming each
blow.
other in here.
yeah. So it
I've
could.
been sitting in the corner eating my bologna. That was a low blow.
I
Yeah,
couldn't
anytime
couldn't
a
help myself.
customer hacks in some
Yes.
service, he's
Yeah.
in
So.
some kind of trouble.
Anyways, sorry for that, guys. So you could catch these in an automated fashion as of now, but for sure the Pyroscope integration will add value on top of this in that you could get an interface, right? Maybe showing you nice top to down, top to bottom, how each of your scripting
Yeah, I think
step
it's
took.
really like
Yes.
you.
Hmm.
It's like you could say you always could do SN grep, but then you have Homer that giving you like time capsules that
Yes.
really.
Yeah. I
So I
see.
guess this is really the important thing, like really having going right on time into the specific point of time and seeing what created the load. So yeah,
Being able to correlate, I guess that's also another thing. Because, okay, you see it all, but if you cannot correlate, takes more
Yeah,
time.
absolutely, absolutely.
yeah, absolutely. Those if you're debugging, especially if you have distributed systems and correlating stuff is kind of
Yeah, and
The whole
actually with
point,
tricky.
yeah.
this, yeah, actually I see the value now, right? If you are actively profiling, let's say that query, right, the CNAME query, on all the at all times, right? Not just when it's performing poorly. You could then kind of graph it and say, okay, on a you could even pick and choose which one you want to dig
Exactly.
for, since you have all the data there, rather than only bits and pieces when it went wrong, when you got the alerts, when you got okay, maybe at that point it's too late.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Cool, cool.
I love it that we are using Alex Gulis CNAME service as the as the bad example that you should
No,
monitor.
all of them are bad. All of them are
Really?
fail sometimes.
Nobody
Yeah,
knows how to
yeah.
set a timeout on their fucking HTTP queries. I don't understand.
Talk to me in UDP, then I'll get it.
Start
Oh,
doing
you're
async
you call me old.
HTTP request.
You calling me old? Let's go back to like the redirect.
Okay, well, we have that crash, so if you guys have, I'm in mood to look at some help stuff. I think I've seen somebody else reporting actually something like this on OpenSIPS channels. So Pavel, do you have
Sure.
something to show us?
Let's take a look.
I don't know, maybe we don't configure it properly, but the story is that it works for UDP and somehow crashes on start when we try to use TCP. And this is 3.4 latest OpenSIPS.
So hello everyone, my name is Pavel. I'm QA engineer at CP Software. And actually you should be able to see my screen now, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So it is the FreeBSD based installation of CP Soft Switch, and we are looking for OpenSIPS 3.4 in the packages. So here it is. Basically, I believe that we have our log, daemon log, which should have some OpenSIPS messages written here. If I should open some specific configuration file, just let me know. And in the meanwhile, I'll just enable that HEP export via TCP, and that should trigger the issue that you should be able to see. Just a sec. So overall, in our implementation, the HEP export over UDP was at no issues.
Hmm.
And as soon as I enable HEP export over TCP transport, well, it actually gets selected for HEP version 3, gets sent to the random just dump collector address via some existing local port. Just let me get it saved now.
But these errors that it's printing about HAP UDP don't matter, or
This stuff, this is, I assume, the debug that Max added today for our
no,
OpenSIPS.
but above it says proto HAP UDP.
This one, right?
Hmm.
Well, it might be related to the kind of endpoint that does not accept the HEP. So as I said, the destination, the collector is just abc.com and some 123 port. So I'm not expecting that the other
No,
side.
he is fuzzing pretty much.
So this time the OpenSIPS got restarted. It might also flash here some stuff that is not related to the HEP stuff. As you can see, it loads some CS certificates, which is other
Yeah,
configuration.
Pavel got a lot of certificates.
Yep. I can filter for specific kind of line, maybe for HEP, but let's just wait for a bit. somewhere at this stage, it started just going pretty wild.
Maybe it already happened. Huh?
Yep, I did not expect those messages to go. This is something like the restart or something.
Yeah, like a deadlock or something.
Mm, well, let's wait.
The-
And cannot send message. Well,
Can you
that-
make a trap now, or what's going on?
like stop the stuff or what?
Like it seemed now we don't even get the timer warnings, but usually when that happens, all of the workers are stuck doing something, either some IO, a query, or one of them could have even crashed, and the other ones are locked to,
No,
let's
it
say, a
probably
dialogue.
died.
Yeah.
It probably died and got restarted. We have a system which restarts it if it dies automatically. You can just do the math, Pavel, and see if there is any.
Okay, and what does the backtrace look like?
Yeah, let's look at the backtrace.
Mm, how should I provide you that backtrace right now? So it has not
Oh,
crashed for the time being.
oh, it did not. Oh, okay.
Not yet. Well, not to my knowledge.
Oh, I see. So it's somewhat stuck. It hasn't yet crashed, but
Aha,
it
it went. It
the
went badly.
the
So
pipe
this is
the pipe is full, right? Look, accessing postponed chunks. That means it's writing and postponing the write because it's supposed to be done on the right trigger, right, and the by one of the writers, but that's not happening. So the chunks are piling up.
Then
When
it
this
crashes.
yeah.
So is that like an IO issue? Where is it supposed to write it to?
Is this Homer even running? Or
Yeah, that's a good
No,
question.
he is just using some kind of after reply service, which basically sends garbage.
Oh, like I see.
so
Just
I
a
don't
TCP
expect anything to
accept.
be received.
So it's like
It's
pretty
not
much
reading.
fuzzing at this.
Okay. So yeah, of course, if you do that, if it's not consuming, the producers are going to get stuck. Yes.
Yeah.
But the question is, do you recover properly from this, or does the whole thing
Well, it doesn't.
get stuck?
Yes,
I
obviously
see.
doesn't.
Okay. So it's a different. Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
As of now, it is a problem.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
with the HEP, it there is a risk. So depending on how you manage the Homer, or you could even restart it. We've actually it's yeah, we've actually gotten this quite in the last couple of weeks from one of the clients.
But like,
And
can
yeah,
you go to the
sure.
top when it starts? Not the top, when it starts. When it
Like
starts
this is
compiling.
exactly the place where it started, I assume. So you see, I searched for this TCP main, like
Mm.
the first appearance of this bug, and like this should be the first.
But like,
Yeah,
this has no place to go then.
well, this is the first message for that TCP main bug, and this is
Yeah.
what was before. Like, should I
But
go up?
but I think that the ones before these are all expected, right? At the end of the day, it's just a write which does a quick exit, and you just fail to send the HEP because there's no HEP server consuming your writes, right? I don't think
no, but the bug
yeah.
is printed 70,000
Afterwards.
times.
Yeah, but it's afterwards the bug starts, right? To the TCP main,
Yeah.
or am I missing something?
No, I'm trying to understand that because I'm
Ah.
trying to understand if there's no place to go, this is expected. But there is no place to go. There is no Homer.
Yeah, exactly. There is no Homer.
Yeah, there is no Homer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So
it
Okay,
should
okay,
not
okay.
crash, right? Because
oh
it
yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
should
see
be.
it
should.
now. I'm sorry, I didn't see that. There is that little last message repeated 70,000. I didn't see that one. Okay. There we go. That is a very
Yeah.
important
Well, this
message.
is I'm showing you right now.
70,000 times, yeah.
Okay.
Actually, you can see it right now from the size of that log, so it grows
Yeah.
pretty fast. And actually, the staging box just went wild after maybe 10 or 15 minutes. So this is kind of the issues that I got reported.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
of course,
Well,
what's happening with UDP, but perhaps because for UDP you don't need to kind of keep the socket open.
Yeah.
Yeah, with UDP it's very easy. You just send
You
it.
just bombard the stuff and you don't care.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
here,
And
something might be
here,
listening on that abc.com 123. Like, I'm not sure, but it might be.
I guess in general, it will be great to have, from a feature request perspective, some kind of threshold that if you could not succeed sending those amounts of app message, stop sending app for this amount of time. Because like no one want to have a SIP issue because of app issues.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
one
yeah.
thing. Yeah, yeah, and with all, to be honest, with all the third-party things, it could even be like a database, like a CDR database, or the other thing with the CNAME dips. You'd rather not have that thing work and just give the CLI instead of not having SIP, right? Because you're crashing the OpenSIPs.
Absolutely, exactly, exactly. So this is like
Y'all are a bunch of brutal motherfuckers. Just want to let you know.
no, again, with you do you with the CNAME, we just you do HTTP async and then you somehow can handle it. But when we are talking about more stuff that like app, I guess again by definition is part of the thread. You know, it's like
Yeah, but if you look at the HEP, even here we try to make it async. We are trying to make all of them as much as possible async, but you see that there could be a
I guess the
kind
only
of bug.
thing is really to have some kind of, I would say, if it would be some kind of a threshold that can stop the app if there is some error for some kind of a timer, so we will not get got out of children because of app eating them.
Yeah, it's a cooldown. We need to put a cooldown until we try again. And with what we lose, or we write to the disk. I don't know. We can discuss. Depends. Can be customized.
Exactly. Like the problem is especially when you know when you're talking about TCP or people are could do bad implementation
Yeah.
and take
Oh
it
yeah,
and talk it.
yeah, and just some misconfiguration could be just starting different service or
Exactly,
whatever, like setting
exactly.
up,
Yeah.
making a mistake,
By the way,
configuring AWS.
it's happened to me also on UDP because it was on the same network and the ARP could not be resolved. So the children was getting out of get was load because they were too much occupied by looking for the ARP of the app.
No, yeah, yeah.
So also theoretically, also UDP can kill your server. Not theoretically. I already been there.
Yeah, yeah. Everything can do, yes.
So I'm saying like again,
And
I don't even
too much
remember.
RTP could kill your switch too. So like then what you do if your switch is dead? The server may
Yeah.
be okay, but switch is down. So yeah.
I will check
Anyway,
it
but
out.
okay. So do we, Rita? No, I guess we should open probably a ticket or
Yeah,
look
yeah,
if,
please.
there is a ticket on OpenSIPS. I think I saw. Let's do quick search, Pavel, maybe on OpenSIPS. If you open OpenSIPS issues on GitHub, try to search something like HEP TCP crash, something.
Anyway, okay, I see it. I can also search, but yes, if you guys open an issue, it's nice.
Okay, I'll try to find one. If it is there, like I will maybe add there a comment. If it is not, maybe I'll create one.
Nice, thank you. But I think this is a easy one to have sorted out before OpenSIP Summit.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, it's pretty important because obviously it. For this reason, we kind of went. I think Dima here can talk about this. We went to great. Well, not great, but we got to some effort to discourage customers from enabling TCP because they could essentially they enable it and then they come to us and say, oh, it's not working because it's crashing now. So yeah, pretty.
Yeah, it's serious. I understand.
So the old Romanian Vlad shared on the chat his cheat sheet as to how to auto kill. Is it auto killing at the end or just killing the Homer?
No, just stop tracing. If Homer you detect it's down, just stop tracing basically. Because I guess we all had this problem. If Homer goes down, it kills your everything.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's make it not kill it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good, good. Good points out of this meeting.
For me, yes, more work. Yay. No,
So
thanks, guys.
you work in Rita, you're in Portugal, or you work in
Yeah,
usually in
I'm in Portugal, Lisbon.
Mm. Nice. Is it warm already? I guess. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Always 20 something.
Yeah, OpenSIPS. Was it like which year
Ah,
is
come on.
it?
2018.
18,
2018.
yeah.
Super cute.
Yeah. It's like 3D printed. Yeah.
Yes. It's took
Geeky
some time
Maxim.
to build.
Geeky Maxim. Yeah. Back in
Yeah.
2018, you didn't add AI to play with, so you played with 3D printers.
Yes. I still have them.
I'm sure.
Yeah, good. So, what do you think, guys, about should we do it like every month, probably 2 months?
Let's
something
discuss it
like
face to face on the summit.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Next month's edition will be from the summit.
Okay,
yeah,
yeah, we can
exactly.
do it.
But definitely, I think it's a good forum to meet and
Oh, yeah.
engage and promote and get more on board to help us with some, good sessions like this.
Yeah, we
So,
could change it to the OpenSIPS shaming meeting. It would be great.
oh,
The
nice.
OpenSIPS and geriatric shaming meeting.
Yeah, some stuff needs to be brought up
Nice.
in a friendly manner.
So we need to find a good brand for this. Maybe like SIP trash talking, SIP trash communication, SIP trash communication.
Quick, somebody go start the Reddit.
Yeah.
Hey Max, are you gonna publish this right on YouTube? Can you put a link up on LinkedIn that I can share, or just send
Oh
me something I can share?
it's already there. I will let me dig it. Dima is doing hopefully. I have not really checked, but Dima is doing it from Poland,
Nice.
and yeah, and I can focus on having fun with you guys.
Great.
And this was a lot of fun, despite
Yeah,
only talking forever.
yes, good stuff, cool stuff. One complaint, well, not complaint, one grievance we had last night with Pavel. There is some problems with the build system. I think it runs a bunch of crap on every step. I think Livio we touched this a little bit, right? But in Brussels.
Can you refresh me, please, on that?
Or
I'm sorry,
maybe
I
it
fell off.
was with Razvan. But essentially, like what happens sometimes, we have bunch of small systems to test stuff. Like stuff, for example, is like very low power, the like rack of stuff. Like I can probably, I don't know if you show it. So anyway, so like systems with like 2 cores or something like 5 years old, so not very juicy systems, and sometimes like make quick change to fix something or test. Need to rebuild like OpenSIPS, and it's like uh, compilation is kind of okay, but sometimes it just stucks no, visibly stuck between modules, and I believe I tracked it down. It's like some make files run a bunch of stuff repeatedly, like especially for modules, like trying to get like some parameters or whatever. Like so I can maybe show it. Give me a sec.
There's still some things we could optimize on the development workflow for sure. One comes to mind. I think right now, when you rebuild the modules, you always have to rebuild the libraries. I think the registrar library always gets rebuilt despite you haven't changed anything there, right? And this one
No,
you're
it's not,
mentioning as well. Yeah.
it's not even about that, Livia. It's about it doing like trying to get like parameters to build like Python module. But the thing is that it does it for some reason like hundreds of thousand times
Oh, okay.
in a row.
That
So,
bad.
and
That
it
bad.
basically just wastes. I can show you. This
I
is,
see.
as
I
I said,
see.
pretty small box.
So on a smaller system, this becomes noticeable, whereas all of us are, compiling on what not i7s and all that, and we don't
Yeah,
even see this
but obviously
processing. Okay.
on more what is more relevant, it also chews up time on doing like CI builds. So if like 90% of the time goes into those useless stuff. So yeah, as I said, it's like low power,
True.
and I also run a bunch of tests over it, so it's a little bit. It's not exactly idle either. So
That
if
is
I
a
go,
good point.
yeah, but the point is that let's see. I want to rebuild it. Where is the builder? It actually might not be do demo. Might go and build some bunch of others. Oh yeah, this won't work. It will take forever. But anyway, I think I cannot really demo it now. Otherwise, it will take 15 minutes to build dependencies and stuff. But there are some stuff that needs to be looked into. Maybe yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll find some time and put some pull requests out because definitely. I mean, I guess, demo it on my bigger system. Let's see, just run some.
So it just does this behavior. You said some kind of Python flags on any make, right? It doesn't. You don't have to enable some special modules to get this behavior.
Exactly. Oh, why is it stuck at all?
I'm really curious to see
Yeah,
what
you
it is.
see,
I mean, what I've
it's
noticed.
running some
Yeah.
flags right now. Just
Okay. What I've noticed that's personally annoying me is the make clean. Have you noticed how long the make clean is? I never use it. I've made some custom command that I instantly clean all binaries, right?
yeah, and so you
It
see, just
uses
to
make.
start building, and it took quite some time. And if I pause it. So when I was running Control T, so you see it was running a
Yes,
bunch of stuff.
scripting stuff.
And
All of this
just
is unnoticeable. Yeah, on a normal run. Normal. I mean, on normal hardware.
yeah, well, it's probably part of the reason why those multi-architecture builds
Mm-hmm.
take.
Yes, yeah, there you go. That explains it. You always see the QEMU and the other one, Spark or something. They take forever. It's yeah.
Yeah, or even like running clean, right? It just should not
Uh, I,
take.
I told you I don't use the clean. It uses makefile for some reason. Like it could easily use a find, right? Just find minus some kind of matcher, and it just insta delete all the object files, and the other one D files, right? Yeah.
Crazy stuff. Okay, okay. Well, I guess I need to find some time to dig into that. But I guess if I put something out, you will be willing to take over because
Yes.
yeah,
Yep.
I've definitely like as I said, not really complaining. I understand you're busy and probably overloaded as everybody else here. But yeah, sometimes it
Look,
just if it's like 6 months, you lose all the
I
like
can give you
track of
my
what.
make proper, so you can to clean up your OpenSIPs. If you want to clean up like instantly, you can use that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and then I don't know if Shlomi or anyone at Voice Center. I already I think pitched it a few times on OpenSIPS forums, but if you guys want to sponsor of some sorts the rework of the build system for OpenSIPS, that is kind of would probably be quite useful because it's so much crap
Hmm.
here.
You're thinking of switching to CMake or which one?
Yes, like, whatever would be better. Just everything should be
Whatever.
probably
Work
thrown
should
Anything from the
away.
last decade.
delete every.
Everything that is newer than 2001 would be
Yeah,
great.
it's so much custom stuff. So on all those make files, it works, right?
Look at all this.
But yeah, we could use like a more modern system for sure.
Yeah, some good
Uh,
stuff.
but what problems are you solving with that one, right? I guess that why nobody changed it is because it works, right? So you're trying to
Yeah,
solve the
because
problem of speed or which one? Or
yeah,
efficiency?
speed, like you see, it sets up. So, and then I got quite a lot of challenges when I went to enable it to build on different architectures. It usually like different compilers as well, like Silang. If you look at the compiler support, it's just horrible here. If um, like defs, I think it's the most horrible file. So I see it does all this crap which nobody really uses anymore. 90% is like checking for like Spark or Sun Solaris or some GNU key FreeBSD which never existed. Or Darwin. Who builds OpenSIPs on Darwin? Really? So somebody put it in like 10, 20 years ago, and it was cool at the time, but it's like MIPS 2, like it's like bunch of alpha. Alpha. I have not heard about alpha for 25 years, I think at least. Or ICC, all this.
Okay, so
Everyone is
the takeaway here is that the current build system, right? Let's sum it up. It has some inefficiencies in terms of initializations, cleanups. So it works, but when you go to like more restricted hardware or in a more restricted build environment, you kind of start to see it. So
Yeah, but as
so
I
the
said,
yeah,
we kind of see it every day, just not
not
realizing because
yeah.
if we solve it, then if we go into something like GitHub Actions for OpenSIPs,
Yeah, the
uh,
costs start to add
mm,
up. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I guess it's
true.
bottom line. So we might if we do this we might cut I don't know 30%. So you see there is like 1 hour 48
There is
minutes.
a major difference, absolutely, between the x86 64 and the embedded one.
No, that is expected, right? It's expected to be because it's simulating everything. But then the question is how much of this goes into something useful, and how much goes into stuff that is not very useful.
But can you say for sure that the CMake, instead of this, to be fair, handwritten, low-level makefile build system, it doesn't have any overhead, no weird scripts or things that happen behind the curtains? How are you sure the CMake won't have even more problems on the embedded ones?
Well, it's usually very good. I run bunch of projects that use CMake specifically, and like if you look at the what can I show? CP, I think 722 library. Oops, I think it's G722.
I mean,
So
yeah,
kind of works, and I build it. I built Docker image for I think more architecture than OpenSIPS because it's very simple library, builds on everything. And now if I go to where is the Docker link? But anyway, yeah, basically it has as I said 9 or 8 architectures and pretty clean built. You see, it does not take a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's kind of okay. And I think we also can borrow from that other project starting with K, if it makes any sense. I don't know. They did. I think they did more move to CMake at some point or some recently.
I think we should just give to AI to do it and kill the project, you know?
Anyway.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Well, as I said, yeah, this is because right, you never know where it goes. Like 10 years ago, when I did those, started doing those multi-architecture builds, people were like, "Oh, why do you even build on like ARM? Like who cares or whatever." But these days, you go to like last OpenSIPS summit, we have Flavio presenting his performance work and comparison running on production ARM instances in AWS, and basically, so I kind of and I'm pretty amazed that it like RISC-64 pretty much works now out of the box, which is kind of cool.
Yep, sounds good. I put a note here. Let's see.
That's why I'm saying those builds are pretty important because again, like I think 3 years ago, or yeah, now probably yeah, about 3 years ago, this RISC-64 board, and put like RTP proxy and OpenSIPS on it. Took a little bit of fixes here and there, but now it just kind of works. And we're going to see this more and more in like servers and all over the place, obviously.
Yep. So I'm just trying to make sure we prioritize the correct things here, right? Because just as Microsoft's cloud resources are important, the project's human resources are as well, right? And maybe like at the end of the day, the builds work, even if they're slow. Like 15 minutes slower. How much? Maybe I got it wrong, but isn't only the initial phase the problem, right? Those SH scripts
Well,
thingies. But
no,
yeah,
the
oh no, there
modules
is
actually. We didn't really
ah
get to the module
oh
phase, but
get
the
to the
modules
modules.
are,
Okay,
especially if you go to like something heavy like Python, it tries to
gotcha.
run in Python and collect some
Okay, so
output, whatever.
there is extra overhead per module, not just okay.
Yeah, and
So
as I said,
I
most of it
see.
is not even overhead. Like most of it is just because it repeats those steps and over again. So if you run it with something like strace and then just do like a summary of
Hmm.
what kind of commands it runs, you will see that it will run the same command over and over, like as I said, thousands or hundreds of times, and it's obviously does not does not
Okay, then
help her. Yeah.
maybe we can, prioritize it a bit more. Microsoft should thank us, just like we thank Microsoft. I mean, at the end of the day, it is free build cycles, and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, time of the project of somebody doing development, so they're not waiting for like 3 hours.
Yeah, for the pull request to get the green light. True, true.
Yeah, yes, yeah. Yeah, and then you switch switch contacts. So the sooner you get the response from CI, the better. So you can basically focus on one thing and not get it somewhere displaced by something else. Anyway, yeah, it's would be nice to have some improvements on that end. Cool. So what are you guys planning for the summit? So give us some interesting stuff.
Well, I wouldn't want to spoil too much of it, but I can say we are working. So each of us has like a big chunk of the development work, and we are kind of trying to fit things in between the usual, right? The project also needs some time allocated, so maybe I can switch to like this. Sorry, 1 second. Like this. So these are the first three things, which are pretty ahead in the development phase. Do you guys know, guys and girls, know about these, or want me to talk a bit about them without hopefully spoiling too much? So the SDP wants to give more control at the OpenSIP script level on controlling parts of it, making changes there, subtle changes on various parts from the codec side to RTP direction and all of that, IP addresses, ports, without doing the regex. That is the only way to do as of now.
Hooray!
Yeah,
that
yeah,
would be
exactly.
that would
And
be big.
also, once you start building scenarios, like the more complex ones, there is also the problem of having multiple SDPs. I can give you like a glimpse into what's like the high-level design document. I mean, at this point, it's uh, low level. I don't know. Um, so you will be able to
No,
assign.
sure, if you have something more.
Oh, it's a different tab. Oh, sorry, I was sharing the wrong thing. Something else. So you can see this little Google Doc, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
you will be able to assign an SDP to the message as you go. I mean, work on it, right? Change various parts of it, and then assign it. Uh, we build a few new variables which are coming up, which will give you full access to to all of the lines, the attribute lines, the M line, O line, all of that. And both at session level, right? Because there's nowadays you get more complex SDPs, you get WebRTC SDPs with a bunch of video and audio streams, and you want to have some control over which stream you work on. So there is some work being done on that side as well. So all these variables will give you full control. And let's see if we can get this one working as well. Like some specific variables, right? Giving you exactly like, I don't know, like the IPv4 or the media direction, and instead of locating them with these filters. I don't want to spoil too much, so yeah, you can take screenshots, maybe reverse engineer it. Um, yeah, and all of this while
Just
keeping.
question: is it
Yeah,
read only?
sure.
Those I can
No,
only
no,
I
they
can
are
only read.
no, they are read write, and yeah, you can edit the components that say there is this problem of locating a specific codec, but you want to change the bitrate, right? So you
Yeah.
can, it is possible to do that.
Yeah, sometimes they may like I think sometimes I had the problems. It was a long time ago, but anyway, just to underline the point, I think one of the UAs used like weird name like 729B or something like non-standard, and then all other UAs were like, oh, what is what is this crap? Yeah. So that's a good stuff. But internally, it does all like with the lamps or what? How do you manage this?
So it's managed in a separate data structure, and the changes will be on the fly. So everything is reflected immediately into the message. But you can still keep using. That's why, because I didn't want to change too much. The existing right, the codec operations and all that, they will still be there if you want to do lump based changes. This is not the release where we get rid of lumps, but kind of keep both the systems working together. And if you have these custom changes being prepared, that they will override the current SDP, right? And
okay, so you essentially you parse it and then
exactly.
generate it from data structures. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. And then what do you do? What do you plan on like testing side of things?
So I will just have a lot of unit tests on these little variable syntax use cases, and they should cover up the read and writes. There shouldn't be any issues there. And if those are passing, then I guess it's pretty much solves everything.
Yeah, add-ins, just a suggestion, I guess. Add-ins at fuzzing pipeline would be also a good idea. There's lots of
That's a good one. Yep.
Lots of parsing. It's actually pretty simple. Actually, if I don't know if you actually introduced me to it, right? And then I kind of implemented it in few places. So
Yes, the Google Fuzz
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
It's actually pretty useful. I found in the past 3 or 4 years, I found maybe like
Actually,
$30 of various
isn't
kinds.
isn't there a pending bug in RTP proxy ongoing as of now, or am I? I think I received maybe in the last month or so some reports
No, everything
or
is
something like that.
fixed. Whatever was
Oh, okay. I'll
broken
double check.
there.
Oh, I see. You took care of it. Good work.
Yes. Yeah, cleaned everything. It's actually very interesting. I don't know. I can probably pitch it a little bit if I can log into it.
Anyway, so let me wrap up here with the without
Oh
spoiling
yeah,
too much.
we're
So
back to.
sure. So I'm working. Maybe I can make it like this. Show a bit more. So I'm working on the SDP. Razvan is working on dynamic sockets. So that will give, even though not everybody will find much use in this, a lot of people actually have this scenario where they keep attaching interfaces, right? They interconnect with a new carrier or like a new service provider, and they give them a different IP address. So now they need to restart the OpenSIPs because you cannot dynamically add that socket to the instance. So there is work here allowing you to do just that.
It will be managed through
Yeah.
the database, like the socket.
Yes. Yeah, exactly, Shlomi. Through a database, and you just reload, and voila, it should work. Yeah, it's a big challenge. That's why we put Razvan to take care of it. So let's see how sharp of an implementation we can get, and hopefully without too many bugs to fix in the beta. So yeah, that's a big one there with the dynamic sockets, and then there is the branches. So there is this problem, right, when appending branches that you lose correlation with the transaction module branches once the set is built. So for example, how do you move accounting data? How do you manage it once the replies start coming in? That there is not much help there. You have to kind of have to do it manually, right? Per branch. Let's say you fork out a bunch of invites, right? They in parallel, but then you need to move data from the winning branch, or yeah, locate it and prepare data that way. This support will make it more streamlined. So there is a more consistent way from when you build the branches all the way up to when they start getting answers. So all of them, they will be part of the same variables and the same, let's say, development experience at the script level. That's something that Bogdan is working on.
Yeah, high level stuff.
Yeah.
Quick question. So, does anyone use this like forking? Like you see a lot of people.
Yeah, multiple devices or what, parallel forking?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, is it used in overall, like in productions?
It is used.
Okay, cool. Yeah, where you have through like B2BA, so for
really awesome presentations and talks. There's going to be some crazy projects going on the third day where we actually do some application and things like this. And if you're looking to get more knowledge about OpenSIPs, that Friday there'll be a training, and all of that you'll be able to get that information and more at the opensips.org website. Look at that. Advanced training. It's not just any regular training. I can tell you myself, I'm a better human being having been trained in OpenSIPs. And there's some cases. I'm surprised we didn't see Giovanni. And
Oh yeah,
nobody's saying that.
yeah, we need to send him. No, he's there. I think he's doing some stuff. So
But it's not here though.
Listen to that good friend of him. I think he's doing some stuff.
oh, you mean you're not he's not here? Yeah, yeah. Actually, yes. It's next time we probably he probably needed special invitation.
I'm going to leave that to everybody's guessing as to what a special invitation means. But I'm sure we'll see him in Amsterdam. Thanks for
yeah.
everybody that tuned in, spent a couple of hours seeing some cool junk. If you've got any questions, what is the modus operandus? There's an OpenSIPS mailing list, and do we have open Slack channels too? Liviu?
Absolutely. Although I cannot put up a invite link. I'm not sure how to get that, but be sure to ask us for an invite. Even ask it on the users. There has to be some kind of invite, right? How do I get it? Maybe
I'm
put it.
sure
But actually, yeah, I should put it up somehow. It's not useful here in the chat, I guess. But anyway, there are multiple ways of communicating with the community, asking questions and getting help. So the one I still prefer, even though maybe I'm a bit old-fashioned, is the mailing list, right? users@lists.opensips.org.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And for OpenSIPIt, we have set up a meetup channel. So if people want to get notified about those meetings, they can head to meetup and find OpenSIPIt group there. Everyone is welcome to join, and yeah.
Hey, Matt,
good.
Make sure that you update OpenSIPIt.org and put this on there. I was sad to see that this event wasn't showing on that website.
Yeah, well, we need somebody to help to manage it. So if I don't know, Alex, if you want to.
We will do better job next time. Promise
Yeah, it
to get
happened.
double of people.
Yeah,
That's it. I just felt I need to get my hand of shaming in too.
Fair
Thank you,
enough.
Alex. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well done, everybody. Hope everybody has a great finish to their day and an awesome weekend, and looking forward to seeing everybody at the OpenSIPS Summit in Amsterdam.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, everyone.
Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. See you.
Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.